नित्यानन्दकरी वराभयकरी सौन्दर्यरत्नाकरी.
Friends, at Adisi, we constantly endeavor to bring to you relatively unheard and unknown stories. But there is no denying the fact that some stories are eternal, just timeless. No matter how many times you hear them, the child in you will always say, "Once more." For me, most stories about Devi and her different avatars, her different roops, fall in this very category. So today, let's hear a story of Mata Parvati, who on the day of Akshay Tritiya appeared in the avatar, the roop of Devi Annapurna.
Adisi, where stories begin.
Mahadev Shiv and Mata Parvati, we all know, lived on the Kailash Parvat while overseeing and ensuring the well-being of all. Now, just as any married couple, they too often indulged in exchanges, in dialogues that were quick-witted, displaying a splendid gift of repartee. Just the difference is that even in their exchanges, their thoughts, their actions, there was a divinity, there was a divine Leela at play, a pre-decided plan, always in motion, always working towards Jagat Kalyan, working towards the benefit of all creatures. This exchange in particular, too, was to unfold a similar story, which we will soon find out. So now, Mahadev Shiv and Devi Parvati were in the middle of a game called Chausar, a game that involves rolling the dice and betting. And at this point in the game, Bholenath had already lost all his ornaments. The crescent moon that adorns his head, the Vasuki Nag, the snake that is wrapped around his blue neck, and the symbol that represents all the three guns, Rajo, Tamo and Sattva Guna. The powerful Trishul, Bholenath, had lost it all to Devi Parvati. But despite losing one thing after another in this game, Mahadev kept smiling blissfully. Curious about such an odd response, Devi inquired, "What's the reason for this blissful smile of yours, dear Lord? You do realize you are losing one thing after another, don't you?" Bholenath responded with a cheeky smile and said, "Dear Parvati, despite losing all of this, have I really lost anything? Isn't all this just Maya? And isn't all that is Maya eventually a myth, something that isn't reality, isn't the truth? Think about it. After all, I am a married sannyasi, a married hermit. I have no attachments," he said casually, in a nonchalant tone. Hearing her own husband, the Dev of all Devs, respond with such ignorance, Devi was a little hurt. After all, Devi Parvati is Adi Shakti, is Parashakti, is Maheshwari. She is the one who has given form and shape to this entire universe, while keeping it so intricately connected, intertwined in existence. She is Mahamaya. Then how could her own husband ignore her Shakti, her power? How could he fail to realize and acknowledge the importance of her creation and call it a mere myth? Devi, now concerned, asked Sadashiv, "Are you saying this crescent moon you adorn on your head, this Vasuki Nag, this Trishul are all a myth?" Bhole Shankar, with a cheeky smile, responded once again and said, "Why just these three things? everything in this entire universe, even the food, the anna, the meal we consume, is all a myth. Hearing these words come from her own husband, from Shiv Shankar, Devi Parvati was deeply disappointed, disheartened, and perturbed. In moments thereafter, Devi Parvati vanished, disappeared from Kailash, while the Shivgans watched on in shock. Scared and concerned about her rage and her sudden disappearance, they all approached Mahadev, who still, with a calm voice, responded and said, "Calm down. She is just angry. Once her anger settles, she will come back on her own." Saying this, Mahadev now chose to focus on his meditation. Now Mahadev himself is an Adi Yogi, devoid of worldly needs. But on the other hand, all creatures, the Asurs, the Shivgans, were in a state of panic. There was utter chaos everywhere one looked. The reason? Devi Parvati's disappearance. Parashakti, Devi Parvati's disappearance had almost stopped nature from its motion. No new plants, trees, saplings, or vegetables grew anymore. Birds, animals, humans, divine rishis, munis, devious asurs and danavs, and even all the devs were now in trouble, in a dire state. They were all now devoid of anna, of any food or nourishment. Without anna, there was no yajna. Without yajna, there was no rain. And without rain, all one could see in every direction was droughts, famines, and pandemics. In such a scenario, all the devtas ran back to Mahadev and told him about what was going on. Now Shiv, our Bholenath, may not need anything for himself, but for his people, for the benefit of this universe, he meditated. He focused to try and find a solution to the problem at hand. While meditating, he noticed that there was one place on earth, a place called Kashi, that was completely unaffected, untouched by this situation. At once he disguised himself and reached Kashi. Having reached there and inquiring around, he learnt that there was a divine lady in Kashi, and in her kitchen there was endless anaj, endless food, and she was the one who was continuously feeding all the people of Kashi. Bhole Baba, Anantaryami, the one who knows all, at once understood Devi's Leela. Holding a vessel to receive alms, Mahadev, Bhole Shankar, Sarveshwar, proceeded towards this divine kitchen where his wife Devi Parvati was. Seeing the Dev of all Devs, her husband, holding out a vessel to receive alms, Devi Parvati took a celestial, a divine, breathtaking form. With a complexion of red sandalwood, adorned with 4 arms, her beautiful face endowed with 3 lotus-shaped, deep, soulful eyes, graced with a divine expressive smile, she appeared before him in all her radiance. In this celestial, breathtaking form, this Devi offered Bholenath divine food, divine anna in the vessel he held out to receive alms. At this point, Mahadev Shiv said, "Forgive me, Devi. This food doesn't just nourish our body, but also our mind. The kind of food we eat reflects on the kind of thoughts we have. Only in a healthy and pure body can a healthy and pure mind reside, and only a pure mind can focus on pure actions. In this form, this avatar that you have taken today, you have explained to the world the importance of nature, the importance of food. Hey Papa Vimochini, you as a mother have created sufficient food to satisfy, to satiate the needs of all. Hence, from this day on, you will be known as Devi Annapurna.
Annapurne Sada Poorne Shankara Pranavallabhe Gyana Vairagya Sidyartham Bhikshaam Dehi Parvati.
Along with that, and since on this date, this Tritiya Tithi, you have offered me endless and divine food in this bowl that I hold out before you, this day from here on out will be celebrated as Akshaya Tritiya. Now, with a lot of joy, I take this opportunity to present to you exquisite artwork that our listeners have dedicated to Devi Annapurna. And yes, if you'd like to enjoy more such beautiful stories, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that bell icon. Until next time, this is Aditi from Adisi saying Namaste.
Adisi, where stories begin.